Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Zero Strategy Gamer and we are returning to a Let's Play of War in the West. It is Christmas 1943 and we've just broken through the German lines down here in Italy. So we've basically encircled at least 2 full divisions and a third of a division over here. So that's going to be super interesting whether we are going to keep these guys in a pocket. I'm slightly concerned because our position here is a little bit tenuous, especially these guys over here, these New Zealand mixed battalions. They are a little bit weak. I've reinforced them with some US tanks, some special services and a combat engineer unit. I don't know whether that is going to be enough, but let's see. It just might be. So yeah, I'm kind of hopeful whether or not we might be able to break through over here. We've also made a little bit of a push here on the other side of the peninsula, so let's see whether that is going to work out. All in all, we are a little bit north of Rome here. And as you can see, I brought in 2 more divisions down here from basically Africa. So these guys were just being reinforced over here. By the way, can we fit you guys into any of our existing corps? Well, not into the Americans and not into the British either. So basically, well, the 5th Corps... yeah, I think the 5th Corps is a little bit too overstretched as well. Well, not quite. You would have space for, let's say, 1 more division, so maybe I could shuffle you around? Huh. Well, that's a tough one. Okay, where's your army, guys? Okay, it is down here, right? So 5th Army. Well, okay, let's at least put you down into the 5th Army. I think that's going to be alright. Yeah, there we go. Okay, fine. So yeah, these guys will be reinforcing us. That's the 88th US Division, and that is the 3rd Polish Division here, currently assigned to this French Corps over here. Yeah, let's see what the Germans are going to do. I wanted to take this turn here with you guys, because I want to know what's going to happen over here. Especially these guys here, these Panzer Grenadiers, they should be... I don't think they should be able to withdraw all the way over here, because they're just too stuck into all of these regions. So let's see or not whether they are going to do anything. I'm really intrigued over here. Let's see. We couldn't use our air support this turn because of the bad weather. That was a little bit of a problem. But just maybe it's going to be better next time around. We don't know. Right, so very little air activities here. Just a couple of losses here. And here we go into the German ground offensive. So let's see. I think they will try to attack somewhere. Specifically against the New Zealand. Ooh. Look at that. They are trying to attack this advanced tank unit over here. We are losing about 18 tanks. They're in fact losing less than we do. Even though we have a lot... ooh. And that's interesting too. They are attacking into this bit over here. So they are trying to cut us off instead of just being cut off. And that's interesting because they're using 48,000 men against our 25,000 there. But we do have a lot more tanks than they do. So even though we're losing 43 tanks, that's... and they are attacking again, but we are holding out. Decently, I should say. And that's actually nice, because that will weaken all of these units, and it will probably mean that these guys here will have a little bit more trouble disengaging here. Let's see what they are going to do, whether they can pull out of this, in fact. Right, interesting setup over here with these units. It's a lot, relatively weak units here. I think the green units are generally a little bit weaker than the yellow ones. Not quite sure why that would be the case, but just seems to be the case. Probably part of a different army there. But yeah, it does seem like we held the line over there, and that is nice. And we did in fact also very much potentially trap some units into here, so that is very nice. Also, the weather at least seems to have cleared up a little bit. This only looks like rain, not heavy rain. So that's kind of nice. 4,000 men lost nevertheless, so that's not great. And it does look like there's a lot of snowfall over England, so that means basically our northern European guys over here, basically all of these guys here, will probably not fly at all, will you? Well, I mean, you guys are set to fly under very poor, well, it's only poor, so... yeah, it's currently very poor, so I don't think you are going to fly at all, are you? Yeah, that's pretty much a no-no. By the way, how much damage did you hear on these V weapon factories? Quite a bit over there. Quite a bit over here. That's nice. Yeah, that's pretty much damage too. And then in Rostock. Yeah, so basically good damage here in northern Germany, in the Mecklenburg area. And then how much damage did we do in France on the launch sites? Yeah, that's looking pretty good too. So 95% damage over here. 51 there. 97 there, or 79 there, and 57 there. That's good. And then Cherbourg, 95. Nice. I think that's pretty good. Do we see that in terms of victory points already? So let's have a look at the victory points here. V weapons, yeah, they are gaining 4 points starting now, which is in fact less than they did earn with the U-boats, which is nice. On the other hand, we'll be earning a lot less points for our bombardments and the units and everything, so that's one thing. The other thing is it's going to be a little bit more complicated. As you can see, there are a lot of V weapon factories all around the map. As you can see, some down here in Munich, sorry, Augsburg, some in Ulm. Yeah, a little bit all over the place. Yeah, it's much more dispersed, so that's going to be a problem. But let's look at the front line, because I think we're doing great over here. So, yeah, it does seem like we have successfully trapped these units up over there, so that's very nice, in fact. So that is quite a couple of, yeah, it's two and a third divisions completely encircled over here. That's nice. We've got another Panzer Grenadier division that's encircled over here, plus a reserve division, plus parts of a Fallschirmjäger division. Nice. So these guys are not yet encircled, but we will definitely be able to break through here and get them there. So that's nice. It also looks like this position here is somewhat weak, isn't it? So these guys are just a couple of Panzer Grenadiers, just a part of an infantry division actually over here. Another part, yeah, so it's only a single infantry division that's spread out over here, and a Panzer Grenadier division that probably goes up until here. Where's the last bit of the 15th Panzer Grenadier? Can't seem to find it, which is odd. Panzer division down here. So yeah, these guys would definitely be nice to encircle. These are crack German troops. Can I get more info on you, please? Info screens? I don't have anything enabled here, do I? Right, yeah, okay, that's it. Right, so yeah, there we go. So that's 32 Panthers, 30 Panzers, Panzer IVs, and a couple of Stugs. Yeah, it does look very tempting. I mean, that is definitely tempting. Yeah, and here's the last part of the 15th Panzer Grenadier Division. Well, it's going to be difficult to loop around that, though. There's another Panzer Division up here. All the way over here, we've got the rest of this division, so it's interesting that they split that up so far. And parts of infantry divisions over here. Mountain Division. Don't know where the rest of that mountain division is, but yeah. Right, so let's look at that. I think we have a little bit of a problem because we can't move up all the way over here. These are going to be tough movements with these tanks, so there's very limited that we can do. We can probably bob these guys, just get rid of them, get a nice line over here. Alright. What else can we do? Ultimately, I would love to break through here and just do a white swooping maneuver, encircle all of these guys and basically completely break them up. But that's just gonna not be in the cards, I think. We'll definitely be able to push up here with the infantry. This is a very weak line, so we can push up here. It might be tempting to try to go for this lake, so that we cut off at least this part of the front line here. And then we might be in a nice position to swing around a little bit. But I doubt whether we are going to move all of our tanks that way. We can only try to push up here with the infantry and then free up the tanks to move that way. Although someone needs to move here as well. And that cannot be an infantry division because, yeah, there's just no way how we can bring up an infantry division across all of these units here. Even these guys over here, 40 movement points, I don't think they are going to be able to come here. There's light mud too on the ground, so yeah. Unfortunately, Italy really, even these plains is not the best tank territory where you could encircle them en masse. Also, we don't really have the critical mass here to do that. Let's bring these guys here off the ships. They're going to be very limited in their usefulness this turn, but I still think it's going to be nice to have them around. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, definitely no push on the cards over here. There might be a chance here to overrun at least this party of the Panzer Division, which honestly would be nice. I mean, these are again very experienced troops. And up over here, yeah, it just might be possible to encircle this, but yeah, not if we attack across the river. Attacking across the river was already so darn difficult down here at Pescara, and I don't think it's going to be much more easy up here. You need to attack across the river, you need to cross the river. There's an extra penalty when there's more units around. So when they have the zone of control and you're trying to cross that, so yeah, that's just not viable. You could try to push these guys out and just try to get onto this hex over here. And that might actually be the most sustainable solution that we can get, so that we have at least the other bank of the river for next turn. Yeah, I think that is what we ultimately want to decide to do over here. Also, we are becoming a little bit more stretched along this line, I have to say, which I don't feel super comfortable with. I don't want to be cut off with all of these guys. But yeah, we'll need to see. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the air missions here, and yeah, then make a small cut, and then you guys can rejoin me afterwards. Right then, here we are back, and I've set up our air directive. So before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about what we want to do. So, as I said last time, which is actually for me a day ago, but for you just a couple of seconds, we do want to break through over here. And I think it's the most promising lead to try to tackle the Lake Trisamoni route. So basically gonna try to get over here, potentially try to cut off their rail supplies over to the north over here, if that is possible at all. Now we have a very limited number of tanks that we can use for that, and I do think that we need to send some of them up over in this direction over here to completely encirclement of these guys down here. And as you can see, this New Zealand motorized division over here doesn't really have enough supply, so I don't think I want to overtax them. And that does mean to me that what we probably want to do is heavily focus on this area up here. This is relatively weak. There's only a little bit of an infantry division down here, and we do have very significant forces over here, and I think we can push them back a little bit here with our infantry from the south and maybe get up here. So it would be great if we could weaken these positions here a little bit. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, if we can cut this off, it would be great if we could also make some progress here on this northeastern side of Italy, and maybe at least get to Fabriano or Fano. Probably not this week, but ultimately I think we do want to push up a little bit over here. So what we're going to do here is try to dislodge these guys a little bit. Right, so this is going to be our main focus here with ground attacks. We're going to have one ground attack in this vicinity. We're going to have one of them in this area up here. And hopefully that is going to be enough to push them back a little bit. We're also going to take our single engine bombers here to cause some disruption in this area here. It is January, so I don't think it's that useful to do that. You know, daylight hours are still kind of low, so they can move a lot of stuff at night, and that does mean there are some negative modifiers to this. Nevertheless, we do have about nearly 600 airplanes here, so I think that's going to work out. Up over here we do only have, oh sorry, that's the recon. We do have about 300 aircraft over here, and then we've got about 300 over here. So yeah, I think it's going to work out relatively fine. I mean, these positions are relatively weak to begin with. Maybe that is going to work out. Northern Europe, there's not much to say because there's bad weather all over here, so you guys should actually, yeah, stop doing this. Right, because there's a lot of snowfall, so yeah, we're not going to have these active. But as you can see, 15th Air Force, which is currently based out of the Brindisi, Taranto area down here, these guys are going to try to fly to Bucharest, to the Platsy area, and they're going to try to strike the airfields over here. And for the first time we are really sending in a lot of bombers, not just the B-24s, but also the Fortresses, the Halifaxes, and even some Lancasters over here that we've transferred from Northern Europe. So maybe we're going to disrupt their oil supplies here a little bit. That would be great, I think. Right, so without further ado, let's start the air execution over here and see what's going to happen. Over here, just on Corsica, we're trying to block in their ports, which would also be very nice. But yeah, seems like our disruption is going alright-ish. We're losing a lot of planes here, especially on the disruption. I mean, it's always these low-flying fighter bombers do take very significant loss every time, especially in terms of morale, but can't be helped. I don't think there's any better way to try to do that. Right, so let's see what we've got over here. We've got the 15th Air Force. You guys did not really lose that much, did you? You didn't do that much either. Yeah, honestly, well, just a single bomber lost over here, but very limited damage here to the oil production. Well, that's almost a little bit sad, but on the other hand, we didn't lose that much, so I suppose that's okay. Some losses over here, not that significant, yeah, but a lot of losses here from these guys. It's always the same. These guys, when they're trying to interdict, which they're fairly successful over here, they are losing quite a lot of planes here. And it's never quite clear to what they are losing that, is it? Flag. Yeah, well, I suppose that does make some sense. Right, and then what else have we got? We've got the ground attacks by 12th Bomber Command, right? Yeah, so very few aircraft lost over here. That's nice to see. They're not really trying to interdict us here. We are causing some direct damage. That's not the main importance. The main importance is to actually try to disrupt them, which apparently we did a little bit, but not that much, honestly. I think this was a defensive value of 4. One of them had 5, I think. So yeah, honestly, not the best attack plans down here. So I think we're going to start over here on this flank, and what we're going to try to start doing is just push up in this vicinity over here. Now I'm really intrigued just how strong are you guys at defending. You are still around 3, and you are also at around 3. So potentially we want to send in the Indians first. These guys are fairly strong, so maybe these two guys here are going to start with the deliberate attack, or do I want to do a hasty attack? Now these guys do have level 2 fortifications. These guys only have level 1 fortification. So let's start a deliberate attack here on the level 2 fortifications, and we're way overwhelming them actually. They're taking quite massive casualties here. That's definitely nice to see. So that was maybe a little bit over the top actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a hasty attack here on this flank, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to push them back. Ooh, that was just a little bit shy of what we could have done, but they are losing their fortification, so I think the next attack definitely should be able to push them out. So question is, do we want to move up maybe with one of these guys? Can we actually move up? Well, not yet, but okay, let's do a deliberate attack then with you guys. Yeah, that is enough for you to push them out, which is lovely to see. So yeah, basically we've already captured these two fields over here. Could I advance further? Yeah, I could, and that is definitely nice to see. I could potentially also get at least into this hex over here. Yeah, I should be able to get into that hex if I want to. So that is nice. We also have a lot of divisions over here, right? Are some of you set to refit still, or is everyone ready? I think everyone should be set to ready. Sometimes I do tend to... Yeah, you guys actually were on refit there. You guys should be counting as ready. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we are going to try to continue our push here, most definitely. And these guys actually do have a lot of movement points left, so that's great to see. Right, question is, do we want to advance over here? Well, I would love to push these guys out. The problem is there's, of course, this river defense here, which is not necessarily great for us, so I think we're going to try to do this first, and then only later see whether we can do anything else down here. Now, you guys are particularly strong, so maybe send you over here? You could try a deliberate attack over here onto this hex. It's 4.2, so if I take all of you guys, you might be able to push them out, right? At least the game is telling us we would have a decent chance. Which would be nice, because we could encircle this division, or these 2/3 of a division down here, and maybe get over here, try to circle around there. Would not be the worst idea. On the other hand, I think we just need to be a little bit more focused on this approach there. So, yeah, I think specifically you guys down here. Let's take at least these two guys because they have got the most movement points, and I think I'm going to send you over here. I'm going to take the slightly weaker one, which is you, I'm going to do another hasty attack on these guys. That should push them out because they have been beaten already, so they should be pretty weak anyway. Which they are, so that's nice to see. How about you guys? You are actually fairly weak as well, so maybe deliberate attack here with one of these guys? Well, if you were to move up, you couldn't move up any further, right? So let's try a hasty attack here. Oh, that's probably not going to work because a lot of other guys here are going to be committed to the defense, so yeah, that is definitely not working. 800 men lost on our side. That's actually pretty harsh. Yeah, 2 would be enough for another hasty attack. So let's try a hasty... You know what? Let's try to bring in one more division to this fight. And I think we're going to take the Indians over here. Because we know that you guys should be able to do that. You're part of the 6th Corps, whereas you guys are part of the 13th Corps, which is... at least in War in the East, that gives you slight malice, but let's see whether that is going to work out this time. This time it is going to work out very drastically, actually. 16 to 1, and they are losing a lot of men there. Fine, you know what, that does work for me. Okay, you can't advance any further. You guys can't advance either. You guys could move through there, so that's lovely to see. Good. Okay, so basically you guys are set where you are. So the next thing we want to move is into here and then try to push these and these guys out, right? So yeah, let's take you guys there. That's a lot of movement points that we are expending for moving through here. Don't think there's any downside though. Yeah, there's no point in trying to clear out these guys because it's just basically mounting to the same thing. So there's a combat delay of 4 on this hex. There's only a combat delay of 1 on this one. But this is rough or something. Yeah, there's light woods. There's also light woods. Average roads. Yeah, okay. Let's get you over here. We are pushing these guys back, which is most definitely nice to see. And we could try to attack over here with a hasty attack. I don't think that is what we want to do though. I would much rather like to pull forward some further troops over here. Yeah, let's get you forward a little bit as well. And then maybe take both of these guys. You should be pretty easy to dislodge. So let's do a haste attack here. Yeah, that's working out fairly nice. We are losing quite a couple of men here, taking quite some casualties in the process, but still I do think it's worthwhile to try to get a nice broad foothold over here onto all of this territory. Okay, you guys could advance several ways, but I really want to move someone up there, and I do think that probably needs to be like you. Ooh, even you can't make it over there. Wow, that's interesting. I would have very much expected you to be able to go there. Well, we can bring the tanks over here. I would love to get on this side so that we are cutting off these rails. But even just getting here so that it prevents them from moving across here would be kind of nice. Yeah, well, we can't move anywhere though with these guys. We do need to maintain some coherent line down here. It would be great to take that on, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Can you guys move over here? No, you can't. Well, we do have some reinforcements in the form of these guys down here, but honestly, yeah, they just disembarked from the rail track, so they're not going to be a great help immediately. Right, so before we decide on how to get over here, I think what we need to do is definitely clear out these guys at the very least. So, probably gonna take on... You guys are fortified? Yeah, just fortified level 1, so I suppose that's fine. Have we got anything over here? Yeah, the paratroopers. But I do think it might just be enough to... Okay, let's take these 2 American groups. That's 8 attack power. No, that's 4 attack power? Really? Okay, let's take all of them. Start out with a hasty attack. Maybe that's going to be enough. No, it's not. It's most definitely not. Okay. So they are still holding out in their defensive lines over there. Okay, let's do a deliberate attack then. And that does indeed get them to surrender. 3-1, so maybe we should have dropped 1 or 2 of these guys. But there go more than 20,000 men off the Germans, so that is most definitely nice to see, right? Yeah, 24,000 German and Italians who have surrendered. Nice, I like that. I like that a lot. Good. Can I push up with you guys though? Well, just a little bit. So, yeah, let's see about that. Right. We've got some guys over here. We've got this division who can move up how far? Well, not really that far. Okay, so we do need one of these tanks to move into here. No way around that. We're capturing a depot, which is nice. Good, and then I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring forward the infantry towards over here, so that we've basically sealed that off, which is nice. Good. You guys, how far can you move? Can you move over there? Well, we don't know yet. Right. We've got these tanks, which I suppose I want to move forward, but obviously we do need to defend that hacks as well. And I'm not sure whether we can, so let's for the second here pull out the headquarter unit. So that should be okay, and then we can see whether we can fit in these guys over here. We cannot. Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem because we can't reinforce this position here with anything else than basically only these two guys who are currently here. Well, that's not strictly true. Maybe I could move on the... Yeah, I can move on the paratroopers over there, and then maybe you guys can fit into here. Yeah, so that's a possibility. Right, let's do that then. Right, let's grab... I suppose it's fine to grab... You, get over here. That's alright. Paratroopers, you're going to move forward. That's okay, and that does free up both of these guys over here. Nice, okay, great. You guys can sort of circle around over here, but just doesn't make that much sense. Let's start out with the tanks then. Okay, you can get over there with a 5, or over here with a 7. Interesting. Whereas you guys could move over there with a 10. Oh, that's lovely, because basically we've pushed back all of these guys, right? A 10 might just allow you to push these guys out of the way. Any further progress down here? No, you just can't go anywhere. Maybe you could try to push back these guys. But that's just really maybe. And I'm a little bit reluctant to pull off too many troops from over here. Okay, you guys can't go anywhere. You're fully exhausted. You're fully exhausted. So basically only troops from here on downwards have any movement points left. And you guys just can't really go anywhere either. You guys couldn't go there as well because you're so low on supplies. You're also very low on fuel. Yeah, so maybe I should have moved you over here and then the tank down there. Yeah, I think that might have been the slightly better choice there. Anyway, can't help that now. Okay, so you're the guy with the 10. Is there anyone else then? Right. There was someone over here, right? Yeah, okay, so you'd have less movement points. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you over here. I'm going to do a hasty attack against these guys. That should push them back nicely. Great. And that does mean that you guys can maybe advance even further? Yeah, you can advance at least over here. Can you guys move any further? No. But I can, just for the hell of it, push these guys back a little bit. Well, that's okay then. No further attack possible though. So you guys are probably by now the one that can move the furthest. And I think it is possible. It is going to be possible to at least cut off their rail supply from over there. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to push through. We might try to push these guys out of the way first. I mean, we've got a motorized corps here, or motorized division. And we could even bring you guys over here and join in on a hasty attack. Okay, let's move you guys forward, see how good our chances are. I think good enough. Yeah. So we are losing quite a couple of men here, but we are pushing them back. And that just might allow us to come in over here a little bit more aggressively. Yeah, it does. That's great, actually. How about you guys? Yeah, you still can't move over there. That's okay, though. Right, so... move you over here. Can't move you into there, but I can do a hasty attack on these guys. That should push up back also the headquarter unit, and that does mean that this hex is now ours. And we can actually go ahead and occupy it, although that might be a little bit too aggressive, because I would suppose that they can recapture us there. But the good thing is we've definitely at least destroyed the German ability to resupply over there, so that already is pretty valuable to us. Right, and we still got these Italians down here. Well, you could come over here somewhere, sort of disrupt that, safeguard our flanks. You guys could sort of go anywhere. But yeah, it would be nice to move on just one hex further. As always, you know, it's always tempting to go just a little bit further than where you are. But it is quite dangerous. Okay, you guys are all appropriately set in. Yeah, I think I might actually need to reinforce this position here at least somewhat. Let's move these guys in here. So that should give us a nice defensive line over here. Have you guys got any assignments? Yeah, that's okay. You guys? Yeah, good too. Right, so happy about the situation down here. That does leave you guys to move up. Definitely need to move up the headquarter unit here, so that we are not gonna lose that. Question is, do we need or want to move up the motorized division? I suppose it doesn't hurt to move them up a little bit further. It does mean we are a little bit more awkwardly strung out, but that's okay. Yeah, and that does get rid of the headquarter issues there. You guys, basically no movement whatsoever in any direction, so that's okay. Same with you guys. Let's move you up a little bit further then. And then we've got you guys who can still move. You could also try to attack over here, couldn't you? Just how much attack power would we have? Well, it's tempting to try and attack over here. On the other hand, do we need to guard do we need you to guard any flanks? I don't think we actually do. If we can push them back here, that would allow us to encircle this tank group. Because I'm fairly confident that we can advance over here with you guys. There's no way how we can pull in any further resources from anywhere. I mean, these guys we do just need them to guard these areas here. Could move you onto the mountain, you onto this mountain, and then maybe evacuate one hex over here, so basically just loophole everyone around one position. Well, you need to move in anyway, so probably that's not a viable option there. So do we go for another micro-encirclement? I don't see any reason not to, basically. Although, a hasty attack here across the river into fortified positions, it just doesn't sound good. On the other hand, this tank division, and it's one of the nasty ones. Okay, you know what? Let's try to do this attack here first. If we can push them back, that at least does give us a chance there of pushing them out. We do need to move in there, of course, which we can. You couldn't, so you are the one who needs to move in there. That's fine. You guys could move all the way down here, and that does allow you to move over there, and you to move over there. So basically that does allow you some freedom of movement. But I kind of doubt whether or not we're going to be able to take on this hex too. Okay, you know what? We are going to try this over here. Deliberate attack, yeah, that does push them out. 2 on 1 exactly, so we couldn't have done any less than that. And the problem is now I can't move across over here. So yeah, that's slightly unfortunate. Can't be helped though. I can move a little bit up towards this city, so that's what I'm going to do. So at least we are occupying the rail line kind of nicely over here. And again, you just could move over there, and you could move over here, but again, there's no point really doing that. So yeah, let's refrain from that for now. You guys are going to be in a decent position down here, and basically that's it for the most of you. So I think that's all right. Okay, let's move you into here, you into there. So you're kind of guarding all of this flank, and that's okay. Right, and you are going to move into this hex. You guys have moved up as far as you can already. The 7th Army, yeah, I think you're fine where you are. And that does leave us with a couple of railway repair guys over here. So I suppose you guys will want to try to make your way over into the north over here, so that we are ultimately pushing forward our supply lines a little bit. It's incredibly ineffective to repair that this way, but I think it's going to be alright. You know what? You guys are going to push over here, because we can't push up there anyway right now. And that way we have sort of a dual line over here that does merge up into this direction, which is going to be lovely. And then, oh, interestingly enough, I didn't think that we had this under our control, or actually repaired yet. So, you know what? I suppose it's fine then to try and connect that up as well. And speaking of our railway repair, guys, I think we've won over here. Now, I don't think we need to connect all of this up. I did want to have a line from Toronto to Brindisi and up over here. But other than that, I don't think we need anything. Let's just briefly look at the supply situation. And we do find, well, Neapolis is pretty well stocked, isn't it? At 360. How about Rome? 60,000. Up over here it gets a little bit more difficult though. Yeah, we don't really have any supply line that's very close. You guys are suffering from a little bit too little supply. I do want to have the flexibility of transferring some supplies over here, and I think we are pushing up a lot from the Neapolis towards Rome. But I would like to push up supplies from Neapolis towards Termini and Scasasa as well. And I don't want to use the same line over here. So I think what we're going to do is, we can't also repair this one, but we can potentially repair these 5 hexes. And push up that way. So that would not hex the same line as the Neapolis to Rome one. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Can I bring you down to here then? Yeah, that should be possible. So let's bring you down here. Let's get you off the train. And let's move you normally at least 1 hex. So next time you'll be able to repair this line, start repairing this line. And then ultimately, of course, we'll bring you into the north over there. Yeah, that's fine. Anywhere where we could try to build up some forward supply depot. Well, we could build one over here. We could also try to build one over there, but let's actually get rid of these pictures here for a moment. Yeah, this might be a good position for the next supply depot. Don't think we can build that yet, but ultimately I think we'll be able to. So yeah, once we've got the rail line repaired up until that point, I think that is going to be our next depot on the way forward. Right, so last thing, let's look at the situation here on the right. So I would very much love to break through down here and at least threaten all of these guys down here with encirclement if we are trying to push to Farney. I mean, basically their rail supply from this side has already been cut off, so they can only trace supply via Farney, Tabrino, Folgiano. So if we can either capture this or that, or at least break into this little area down here, that would be brilliant. I don't think it's going to be viable because of all of these rivers. You can see there's basically just a billion rivers on every hex, but let's at least try that. So what we do need to do is keep in mind that we need one position down here that's still going to be occupied, and I think the Canadians here have suffered quite badly in the recent fights, so probably you guys are going to stay here. You're the weakest at 6 anyway. So that's okay. We're definitely going to push you guys up. So let's push up the 4th British Division here. And yeah, then why not you guys? Right, and if I check with both of you, game is somewhat reluctant to say that that is going to work. Okay, so let's take the 1st British Division as well, and then we're going to do a deliberate attack here onto this hex. We're winning very, very soundly, so that's nice, although that does mean that we expended too many movement points in trying to get there, and we can't cross with the infantry division now. That's unfortunate. We could cross with the Canadians though, and potentially you guys could come back here. So yeah, maybe that's going to work. Canadians couldn't attack anyone there, but it would work. What would also work is bringing up the 7th British Armoured Division, and I think that's definitely what we need to do. And then we can try to push either into this direction or actually into this one, because I think this is the slightly more viable route of trying to entrap all of these units down there. So let's actually try to do that and do a hasty attack on these guys. We're capturing another depot over there, which is lovely to see. So yeah, okay, Canada, you guys get over here. And then you guys sort of do need to fan out onto these hexes there. You guys go there, that's fine. And you guys over here go down there. So yeah, basically all of this is guarded now. You guys are definitively not going to come into a fight, so I'm going to tell you to refit here for a turn. Move the headquarter unit into here. Canadians are fine where they are. And let's push up with the tanks and let's try to do another hasty attack over here. I don't think that's going to work out because they have traced further reinforcements from down there. We didn't lose too much, but we did lose a little bit, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, another time, pushing up another time does work though, so that's brilliant to see. Although you guys are also getting a little bit exhausted. 52, you're basically at half strength at this point. Yeah, we are a little bit exhausted on this front, but it's still nice to at least threaten them over here. If we could push up a little bit further, that would be great, but just for now we can't. So, yeah. And nevertheless, we have managed to encircle quite a lot of units down here, right? So that's, I mean, let's basically take stock here. That's a full Panzer Grenadier Division, the 3rd. Yeah, so a full Panzer Grenadier Division, a full Infantry Division, although only a reserve one, and 1/3 of a Fallschirmjäger Division. So, yeah, probably a good number of men captured down here, which is definitely lovely to see. You guys could attack, or move out, but it's just not going to get you anywhere, is it? Right, and then we've got these smaller brigades and stuff. I mean, it would be nice to maybe regiments actually only. Yeah, it might be nice to send you up somewhere over here. Could also try to just bolster our position. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to send you over here so that you're sort of covering the flank. You have a little bit of a zone of control. You might be attacked by these tanks. But I don't expect you to come under too much pressure there, because I think the Germans are going to try to disengage. They're also going to try to break through over here somehow. But yeah, for now I think that's alright. Attack over here would not get us anywhere, and these guys are way too weak anyway, so I don't want to risk it. You guys are a little bit too far to the rear, I think, for now. Let's move you guys up as well. But yeah, other than that, it seems to be fine. We are building up a lot of airfields around Foggia. And I do think we have... Some of these German units must be pretty isolated. Yeah, you are. Although you're not suffering from any supply issues. You guys are, though. So this brigade down there is suffering from a bit of supply issues. So ultimately we could try to move down there with our paratroopers here at the very least and try to capture that. We don't really need to. I mean, they're not doing any damage over here though, so yeah, I think we're going to keep them there for now. Have we got any further reinforcements? Yeah, the 85th US Infantry Division has arrived, so that's nice to see. I'm tempted to bring them up somewhere in this direction so that we are a little bit more well supplied over there. Yeah, the 8th Army is a little bit weird as well, because they're controlling one corps that's over here and one that's over here. And basically the 5th Army, sorry, 7th Army is for now only controlling the French, which somewhat awkwardly also control the Polish unit, but yeah, still I think we've done very good progress over here. I know the episode is a little bit longer than usual, but I do think it's a nice push up in this direction. I'm really intrigued to see what the Germans are going to do, whether they're going to try to pull back entirely, maybe form a new defensive line over here. They're probably going to try to rescue their comrades down here, but all in all I think we've done fairly well down here, and ultimately we are at least threatening all of these units, so just maybe there's a chance of cutting them off truly. So yeah, that would be fantastic, but I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed though, and I do hope to see you around next time. Bye bye guys.